I just helped this player, and this player completely transform their defense in Madden 26 by simply implementing one of the top 3 defensive playbooks of their game. If you're tired of getting ran through for easy yards on the ground, or want to know the most lockdown coverage defense to use to stop the best meta passing offenses, this is going to be the perfect video for you, so don't skip out on any of the plays or playbooks I'm breaking down today. Let's jump right into it. The first playbook I want to break down is the defensive playbook that all the pro players are using right now because it has a very unique and specific formation that they're all running. Let me show you. Alright, so we're in the Jaguars playbook here. We're going to come into our coaching adjustments by pressing the right stick in. We're going to turn auto flip defense and play off. And then we're going to come into cover 4 quarters, alright? And we are going to call it obviously from dime 3-2. Now, this is the loop defense that so many players, are using right now, but some people are running incorrectly. So what you need to do, move this man over, right? You want him to be about right here, bump him into that man, and then press RB, right stick up to pass commit your defense, because now what you're going to see is when we take this snap, we turn this guard outside. We're trying to get our, linebacker to loop through. Now, what I want you to understand is that you are sending 4. So do not expect for this blitz to walk in the backfield every single time. If it doesn't walk in the backfield, it's still doing a great job of collapsing the pocket. Something else I want to point out here is this is a match coverage based play. As you can see, it has the purple match indicator on it. So if you turn your zone drops on, any of these 3 zone drops, you don't have them on default, now that match coverage isn't going to work. All right, and so that's not necessarily a bad thing. Sometimes you do just want to play, regular spot drop zone coverage, but just understand that's a reality. But you're going to move that man over to about that spot. You're going to bump him, and then you're using Lloyd. Now, the key is, again, turning 77 towards the left sideline in this case. So boom, take the snap, turn him outside, and then you're able to see how far up the field our man is actually able to loop through and get into the backfield. And so that's why I say that this blitz, I've told people in coaching sessions, if it does that 1 time out of 4 or 1 time out of 5, that's still going to be great, because that's a great opportunity for you to actually get a sack. Because look at this, this is a 4-man blitz. He loops all the way through. By the time the guard recognizes him, it's already too late. He really doesn't even have to win this block shed, and he just pushes his way into the quarterback. Now again, why does this work? Well, look at 77. Look at this guard. He's basically turned all the way to the left sideline here, which means that that's what opens up this gap for us right here. Because if he was looking towards the right, then he would actually be able to help his teammate and probably block our looper. But now he goes to double team for no reason, and I'm back into coverage. So that's really what makes this so dangerous. And so, like I said, you can either run this out of, you can run match coverage behind it, or you can just run regular, spot drop zone coverage. But move that man over. You're going to press RB, right stick up to pass commit. And now what you're going to notice is I'm going to come stand in this spot. I'm going to turn him out there. And so now we're going to see how that time he does a good job of collapsing the pocket again. I actually think I bumped him, which kind of messed it up. So now it's 4th down. We will go through it one last time. So again, you can use your zone drop on, or you can actually turn them off. Really, it just kind of depends what you want to do, depending on the formation that you're playing against, whether you think that you need to run match coverage. But honestly, if you're newer to this defense, I would just recommend you put your curl flats on 5 and call it a day. But we're gonna take the snap again, turn this guy outside. We're able to loop through and once again collapse the pocket and really rely on a lot of our other players to be able to get pressure, because again, we're not allowing the quarterback to step up. But that's the loop, that's how you set it up. But it's not the only thing that's actually really great here from this Jaguars defense, because next we're going to come to 4-3 even 6-1, and we're actually not going to call Sam Will blitz. We're just going to call Sam blitz 3, because this is actually a zone coverage blitz. How we're going to set this up, we're going to shift our defensive line to the left. We're going to drop our linebacker right here, or this defender, Hines Allen. We're going to drop him into a vert hook, because we only, again, need to send 4. And then, you don't want to get beat up the seam, because here's the reality. This is going to be a great blitz, but you have it on the right side. If they were to just call a play like this, they would hike the ball and they could just throw a seam streak for a huge gain or a touchdown. So you need to kind of patch up your defense and not allow for them to be able to do that. So how you're going to do that is press Y twice, then you're going to press A, left stick up to put that man in a deep path, press Y twice, press B, and then left stick down to put this man in a cloud flat. Now what you're going to do is you're going to set it up the same way. So those are going to be your first adjustments here, probably before you even set up the blitz. But drop Hines down into a vert hook, shift your D-line to the right here, and then you have to make sure that you're getting the attention of this center, because as you can see, if your user Lloyd gets the attention of the center, it's 3-on-2 on the right side of the offensive line. So I would stand here in this case, turbo engage, user lock by pressing D-pad up, right trigger, left stick down, take the snap, try to get the attention of the center, and there it is, where that allows for one of those guys off of that right side to walk in complete untouched. And again, the faster you spam the A button, the faster you're going to get off of the block. So again, 3-on-2 advantage where this guy's looking inside. We have two guys over here. He absolutely walks in free untouched. So drop them into that zone, shift that D-line, pass commit. And that's why your quick adjustments are important, because this is, takes some adjusting here to actually make it as good as possible and make sure that you're not giving up like these easy seam passes, which would kind of defeat the purpose of your blitz. But again, user lock, D-pad up, right trigger, left stick down, boom, take the snap, you get the attention, and that's what allows for your guy to come in complete untouched off of that side while you're back into coverage to lurk. We look at the instant replay one last time here, and what you're going to notice is that, yes, we got our pressure to come in completely untouched, boom, very easy, but I'm back into coverage immediately because I'm hitting A on Xbox or X on PlayStation as quickly as possible. So boom, get his attention, and then you just see I'm immediately off him. It's just that little second is all it takes for this to actually be able to work and for us to actually be able to get those really quick flying pressure off of the edge. But you need to be back into coverage so that you're not getting hit immediately with those quick passes when they end up trying to make those panic reads. So again, look something like this. User lock the center, spam A or X to get off the block as quickly as possible. And that's another defense here from the Jaguars playbook that's super hard to beat. All right, so if you found those first two defenses here from the Jaguars playbook helpful, make sure you go down below, hit that subscribe button. I break down Madden 26 tips and tricks every single day to help you guys get better, give you guys free ebooks like this, and you don't want to miss out on any of the content that I have. But if you want my full Jaguars defensive ebook, which goes through the full videos, screenshots, and write-ups, everything you're going to need to dominate on defense in that playbook, and like I said, this part of the video was just a piece of that puzzle, go to the link down below in the pinned comment. You can grab it today by using code YouTube to get 20% off. Really a no-brainer, and it's going to transform your defense here in Madden 26. But let's jump right back into the video, because next I want to break down the most underrated defense in the game here from the Tennessee Titans playbook. Let me show you what I mean. Alright, so we're going to come here into the Titans playbook, and our formation here is going to be nickel 3-3 odd, alright? What we're going to do is come into overload 3 press here from 3-3 odd, and we are going to, or sometimes I feel like on PlayStation this actually might be called overload 3 sky press or something like that. They changed the name of PlayStation versus Xbox, which really makes no sense. But all we're going to do is you also want to make sure you have auto flip turned on here with this. All right, so we come to our coaching adjustments. Yes, we have auto flip on, and we're going to call our play. Again, it doesn't really matter the formation that they're really in here, but we'll put them in some spread formation. But the setup is press RB twice to show blitz, and then you are going to, again, defend the seam just like this. So I showed you earlier from the Jaguars playbook, the last defense we talked about, where the seam is going to be open where Travis Hunter is. So if they just put Travis Hunter on a shriek, well, now it's just, oh, well, actually he matched onto it. But there's going to be times where that seam is just going to be a wide open pass. So you really want to make sure, especially if you had zone drops on, that wouldn't have happened. The only reason is because I don't have zone drops on, right? But it's like that seam could be a wide open pass. So instead what you're going to do is press or put him in a deep pass. So press Y twice, then press LB, left stick up, press Y twice, press X, put him in a cloud flat like this. And so now what we're going to do is turn this guard outside. So turn 65 towards the right sideline to open up room for our slot corner to walk in complete untouched. So again, boom, we're going to take the snap, turn this man outside, and then you're able to see how a 5-on-5 is just going to walk in completely free, because we're basically pulling one of their offensive linemen towards the other side and making it to where he can't actually block us. So we'll look at the replay, boom, turn 65 out towards the sideline just like this, and then we're back into coverage. It's very quick. You're not turbo engaging, you're not D-pad switch kicking, you're not getting his attention at all. You're just trying to move him towards this sideline to basically make it to where He's blocking nobody, and now you have a 4-on-3 advantage over here on this left side to get, those easy pressures and those easy sacks. Also understand that if you have zone drops on, well, now what's going to happen is this defender is going to match onto anything over the middle. So if you put hard flats in the field, now he's actually just going to drop out of the flat every time. But again, show blitz, deep half, cloud flat, just like this. And your, again, focus is turning this guard 65 away, because if you move him down into the left, you're moving him towards where he needs to be, basically, to help block this blitz. But when you turn him the other way, right, so boom, take the snap, turn this man outside, you're able to get that flying pressure while still being back over the middle of the field to lurk their tight end, to lurk their backside dig, really whatever routes that you need to take away. All right, and so the last thing that I'll say with this specific blitz is, what if they block their running back? That would probably be, their counter. Well, the great thing for us is that, we're probably just going to be able to overpower their running back. Now, we do have a slot corner, so if you put a safety at slot corner, this would be better, but it's like, I guess if it's a running back versus a slot corner, that's kind of even. Whereas if you put a safety there, a bigger guy, he'll just run through him. But we're going to take a snap again. You're going to notice how he's going to come in free. And that time, he kind of just ran right through the running back. Where it doesn't really matter that Travis Etienne stepped up. Our guy still did a good job of, collapsing the pocket and shedding that block. What I'll also say about this is, if an offensive player feels this, they see a guy come in untouched, this is like panic, because although like the running back blocked him, it's like he's just a few yards away from being pushed into the quarterback. So it's like they're going to start to flush the pocket, get a little antsy, and again, you're doing a good job of taking away these quick passes over the middle of the field that they might have breaking open. But this play, overload 3 press from nickel through their odd, one of the best blitzes in the game with only a 5-man rush, because you're back into coverage while getting quick pressure from the slot corner. All right, so if you found any of those first 2 defensive playbooks helpful here in this video, make sure you go down below, hit that subscribe button. Again, I'm the only one right now breaking down Madden 26 tips and tricks every single day, giving you guys free ebooks, and you don't want to miss out on any of the content that I have. But let's jump to that final playbook that you're absolutely going to want to see, which is going to be the best overall defensive playbook right now here in Madden 26 from the Vikings playbook. It literally feels like a custom playbook, and it has so many blitzes that not enough people are using right now. Let me show you. Alright, so the first use case, like the Vikings is literally so good. Like I said, it's a custom playbook dang near. So what we're going to first talk about is QB contain defense, because this is something that a lot of people struggle with. How do you actually contain the quarterback? So what you're going to notice here is, if you come into a regular 4-down lineman formation, right? Shedeur Sanders really isn't the fastest quarterback in the world. But the reality is, and you guys know this, when you call 4-down lineman, he can still break free. Just like this, where he had room to, roll out. Again, he doesn't have very high acceleration, but they can just pretty easily roll out on a lot of these defenses. I mean, even if they wanted to go to the other side, right? They can roll out and find guys open. So it's like the 4-down lineman, sometimes even when you contain your defense, it's really not going to work. Like right here, he ended up shedding, and so I wasn't able to run. But like against Lamar, against Jaden Daniels, a lot of these guys, like it's just going to be free. Boom, this time easy rollout, and then they could potentially find someone open down the field if someone was actually open. So you can't really rely on your defensive lineman to actually contain, to hold contain, and then to chase a quarterback down. So the answer here is going to be from Dime23 Sam in the Vikings playbook. You're going to be calling DB Fire 2. The reason why you're going to do this is because you want your slot corners to be the ones it contains. So we're going to press RB twice to show blitz, or excuse me, we're not going to do that. We're just going to QB contain, just like this. And so what you're going to notice is you want to press your defense so that your slot corner walks down to the line of scrimmage like this. And now what we're going to do is call a defense like this right here, all right? And so why can I not put him in a hard flat? All right, there we go. So this is going to be our defense. Now, what I will say is these slot corners, they're super wide in this, case. That actually works to your advantage, because as soon as he tries to roll out, he's running into a guy that's going to come in completely untouched. So again, press your defense, QB contain, just like this. Now, what you want to do as far as coverage behind it, that's really up to you. But I'm going to take this snap right here. You see how wide this is. he's going to have no chance. That's Lamar Jackson, he has no chance. That's Jaden Daniels, he has no chance. It doesn't really matter, even if it's like a tortoise, like, you know, Shedeur Sanders right here. It doesn't matter who it is, because you're just coming at an angle super wide where they don't actually have an opportunity to go anywhere, right? And so what I also say with this play art is you don't really need to blitz this guy, because the reality is players aren't going to roll out the other way. They're going to go to the right side. They're not going to go to the left if they have a right-handed quarterback. So I would drop that man into a zone. So now it will look something like this, all right? So what we're going to see now is we're going to still press RB, right stick up to pass commit, and now we're still going to have that super great contain off of this right side, where it's going to be really hard for him to actually break it down. You see how he has nowhere to go. Sometimes the defensive lineman will shed, you know, just run into him, but most of the time it'll just be your slot corner in the contain that ends up making the play. So really, if you're struggling to contain quarterbacks here from the Vikings playbook, calling dime 2-3 Sam, DB fire 2, putting your slot corner in the contain, he's going to do a much better job of holding leverage and not letting the quarterback get out to the sideline. But let me show you something else here from this Vikings playbook, which is going to be mid blitz here from 3-3 double bug. Now, we are not running the regular bot version of double mug that's super easy to beat, where you walk this guy down, and we're not doing that. This is a actual good version of double mug that you're going to run against really good defensive players. So what we're going to do here is we are going to take Cashman, whoever, or actually it doesn't matter where they're running. So it doesn't matter where the running back is. Too many of you guys get confused where you think you have to take the opposite of the running back. Not with this blitz. You're simply going to take Cashman, or whoever's in this spot on the right side, the right A-gap rusher every single time. You're going to drag him over the left shoulder of the center like this and stand about 2 yards back. Really, the reason why is because you want this man right here to run into the center. If Cashman runs into the guard, it's 4-on-4. If Cashman runs into the center blocks him. Now you have a 3-on-2 advantage, or a 4-on-3 advantage on the left side of the line. So we're going to set it up like that, and then we're going to drop this man into a curl flat or a vert hook. If you're getting beat with quick passes over the middle against zone, and when you're in zone coverage with this defense, then you put him in a vert hook. Otherwise, you just put him in a curl flat. But as soon as the ball snapped, you're pressing your D-pad to the right. So boom, immediately take the snap, D-pad, switch stick over there. And you also see how Harrison Smith had to come over across the field to actually be able to defend that. And that's why it's important to put this man in a curl flat, so that your user is here to jump out and actually be able to take away this quick pass, just like this. Now, this is also what I'm talking about when I say, does your user get the attention of the center? You see how I do in this case. 55 blocks me instead of 77 blocking me, and then 77 goes over here to double team, and so I'm going to just be able to walk in the backfield complete untouched for an easy sack. That is really the name of the game here, putting this guy in a curl flat, right, pass committing your defense, and the counter for them probably is going to be blocking their running back, right, to block the overload to make it 4-on-4 on the left side. So what you're going to do now is you instead are going to put this man in the safety in a hook curl, so that instead of pressing D-pad to the right, you can now press D-pad up and actually be able to lurk over the middle of the field, which is ultimately where you want to be most likely. So again, boom, take it, D-pad up, running back slides over, and you just see how he gets his way pushed in the quarterback while I'm back over the middle of the field to lurk. So this is actually how you run double mug against good players, and you make it actually good. Is you start overloading them, forcing them to block their running back so he slides over, but everyone's still going to be in a one-on-one, and he's still just going to push his way into the quarterback while you're back over the middle of the field to lurk with your user and take away all these routes. So here are the Vikings playbook, super dominant. You have defenses for every situation. You need to contain the quarterback. You go to dime 2-3 Sam. You need to get quick pressure with the overload blitz. You run the correct version of double mug, and the Vikings just became that much better. All right, so if you found this breakdown of the top 3 defensive playbooks helpful here in Madden 26, make sure you go down below, hit that subscribe button. I break down Madden 26 tips and tricks to help you guys get better every single day, and you don't want to miss out on any of the content that I have. But if you want either my Jaguars or my Vikings defensive ebooks, which are by far the best defenses in the game right now, go to the link down below in the pinned comment. You can grab them today by using code YouTube to get 20% off. It's a full written breakdown that you can save on your phone and always reference during gameplay, with videos and screenshots to help guide you through all the content. I highly recommend you check it out. It'll transform the way you play defense. And if you want to see the top 3 offensive playbooks to pair with one of these defenses, check out this video right here. I'll see you over there. Peace.